Um, I'm uh, disclaimer. I'm on some sketchy Wi-Fi because I'm at a place. I got a good place to charge the damn. I knew my I was eating me some Chipotle. I was like, I'm talking to this mirror. I'm like, damn, I'm normally not self right there, but she Wi-Fi but it seemed public because it got because I'm at a sturdy place to charge the phone in the middle of the night, and then I was looking for the Wi-Fi like damn near the other day. I thought I saw something that said because I live the next city over. It's an adjoining city, and it said it said city of such and such, the other such of the two cities. Public Wi-Fi. I was like, damn, they got Wi-Fi for the whole damn city. But then where I'm at now, it got Wi-Fi for like a local venue that I don't got nothing to do with, but it didn't have no bar in it. So it seemed like it's public, and I'm not doing something I ain't supposed to be doing. So like, it's good to go for me. Um, but I wanted to I had a lot on my mind, and I wanted. It's funny because like there's some things that people can't like. There's certain insults. There's like I think there's certain things you can't call someone without complimenting them, like whether you mean to or not. Like one is that so you've known different people. Like you have some great people named you have. I'm not trying to name drop people, but you have some great fighters that start like one of the greatest names you can have is like say the name of Israel. If you know what the word Israel mean, I mean just that if you know what the name Israel refer to, not the people, but just the name itself. If you know what that name mean, that's a mighty name right there. Everyone's name is actually mighty, and you don't actually get born with it. Just to wake up in the morning, it take a lot of courage to walk out your door. So whatever your name is, your name means something. But that's a great name. But you don't see a lot of names that start with I. But I've known some people, I've known of some like famous people, that notable people whose names start with the I. Seldom, but you don't know people with their nickname just be I like that. Like, cause like my nickname, like a lot, my name start with the T, of my real name. That's more that a lot of people can pronounce. What's your name? Is it? Can I call you T for short? T. Hey T. Hey T. But you haven't really heard someone called like you. So you heard someone called T. I knew there's some cool people I grew up with. I almost not damn near don't even want to give blast the person's nickname because it's so rare. Someone might actually know who I'm talking about. But I've known one person. There's a cool ass people I knew, and the fool's name had been Z. Like his nickname was Z. His abbreviated his name start with that, but people just call him Z. That's so rare that some people might know who the hell I'm talking about. I'm not trying to blast nobody, but I actually know somebody named Z. That sound cool like that. You've seen some other letters, but you don't know too many people that their first name their nickname be I. Like so your name actually start with I. That's rare, but your nickname be I. But if your nickname was I, you couldn't really diss that person. Like, man, you see that fool I be up here, man. I's a man. Every time I come around, some shit be coming up out the register, man. I have to I have to close up. So sometimes we gotta close down. But every time I've been up in here, man, shit ain't been coming up right around the register, man. But man, low key, man, I think man, I's a punk, man. I's a punk, man. He be acting hard and stuff like that, but I's really a punk, man. That's all I'm saying is I's a punk, man. If I see I again, man, I'm gonna let him know, man. It ain't sweet over this side, man. That man. So how can you diss somebody named I? But then also to that point, you can't also certain I think this is gonna be a so then like sometimes like some people I actually had a friend like in life he's like hey man when people call you an asshole that's a good thing you're supposed to get called an asshole but that fool was actually an asshole like and it wasn't so cool when people treat you like an asshole but hey man that guy's a jerk man like it's kind of funny because like some things they can actually really you sometimes you can get over on someone with a word one word so like one word will work to insult one person probably the people that are farthest from a jerk you call them a jerk and they really sound like it like you walk in somewhere to try to be funny like I did this tonight right I'm in a restaurant and I go I go up to this dude because you never know how the hell a joke is gonna go over with someone. You could have something that might be clever, it might be appropriate, it might be timely, and someone might become your friend, and somebody might tell you to fuck off. But you probably better if they tell you fuck off because we don't need a lot of friends in this life because our friends we get to have it. I don't know where that point is where it go from like being cool to it click to animosity. Like it's a little bit of resentment. It's like Yeah, 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 yeah. I know. Yeah, 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 yeah. But what you be up on later though, huh? Oh, you got that going on, right? And you do that too? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's just kind of it's kind of funny. Someone say hi, what's up, y'all? Hi, hey everybody, hey, what's up? You sound fake saying hey, but hi, so what's up, y'all? But um, so damn but so some things like so some humor it go over you don't know how the hell a joke is gonna land, but it's good to have good vibes with people. I'm more so that's one thing I want to talk about in this video is that vibes are better than relationships. There so you how many millions now is it not maybe $1 billion been made off of the word relationship, right? The word relationship is a money maker whoever. So you saw this and that lifestyle. You got your main money maker out there doing this and that. Man, you ain't got to put nobody ass in danger to make money. Just put the word relationship out there. The word relationship, anything, a book, a video, any goddamn thing called relationship, will bring you back more money than your best worker in any line of work, baby. That word relationship will get it done for you. But I'll be one to say vibes are better than relationship. There you had it. Vibe over relationship. Some people. So I'm from. I went to school in Tennessee, right? It's funny. Like some places are so cool that everybody got to conquer the place, right? Everybody got to show everybody that they're from there. So those places actually don't have a king because so many people want to be a king because the place is so damn cool like that. It can't be done. Like, damn, did I just lose all my friends and shit? I just had at least 3 people say, and then it go down like that. Did I just lose my friends? But there's some places that you can't. People can't help but try to conquer that area. Like this many, it been going back thousands of years. Alexander, the this and that dipshit. I'm not my bad. I can't be dissing real people having weight that did real things that changed the world. My bad on that one. I'll walk that one back. My bad. Sometimes you just gotta be honest, man. You make a mistake, walk it all the way on back. We ain't got nothing to say about Alexander, nothing. But just that history about let me go try and put my mark on something. Let me go try to be the best person that had been ever been here. Type of thing. That's I went to school in Memphis, right? I went to a part of high school in Memphis. I'm not gonna lie, when I came back to the north from Memphis, I got my ass out of Memphis in 1 year. I was there for junior year of high school. Junior year is a formative year because you're in when you're a freshman in high school, you're still young, you're impressionable. It's not that it's harder actually to phase the young people because young people got more grit than we think that they do. Like young people can really go through there's something about a young person that has a lot of resilience. But by the time you get to be 11th grade, you're near about an adult. But not only are you an adult, so you go from being a very mature, child, kid, basically, like the beginning of high school, to a fledgling adult like that. So as a fledgling adult, you have a little bit less of confidence than actually a confident, overgrown kid, like in your early years of high school. So sometimes and then by the time that you're a senior in high school, yeah, now it's starting to be you're starting to see the grass is greener. You're damn near about to be free, and you're having rank over the other people in the school. So it ain't that bad to be a senior. But a junior, you're a little bit like a fledgling like that. You're now grown. You're awkward being grown because you're new to be grown. You're not quite grown and shit. You don't got all the facial hair and shit. I'm near about grown and shit, but I don't always got the full on beard like that. But you got some people that are young and they got the full on beard. But you're in 11th grade and you're not all the way grown. You're figuring this thing out, man. You're figuring out what it means to socialize as a grown person around grown type of stuff. You're new to that. It can be cool, but it can be scary too. But that was me in 11th grade. But then I got back to the north after that, and that was about as long as I could hack it in Tennessee. And I was shut up. I'm not gonna lie. In high school, I was shut up. And now I did rock the fro in high school. I'll give myself that much credit. I was in Memphis rocking the fro. You got to be about something in life to rock a fro, because it ain't you got to be about you got to be congruent on some level to rock a fro. Just because sometimes a fro it ain't the slickest thing, it ain't always the flyest thing, even though it's the flyest thing. But you got to be true to less is more to be fly. But then when I got back to the north, I was always trying to Memphis. Like I would if I could afford it, I would have tried to be rocking me a Memphis jersey. While I'm not gonna lie, I was happy to get out of high school in Memphis because like it was real in Memphis. It's harder to get on in Memphis because if you ain't from there. But people always want. There's certain places that people want to rock if they've been there. Memphis is one of them. If you've been to Memphis, you want to let people know you've been around Memphis because Memphis it's like the name got weight, but it's actually a real ass place too. But then Memphis, it got an acronym. It's called Making Easy Money, something something in style, or Making Easy Money doing something is serious. One of those two acronyms. But I forgot why I wanted to mention that. But to go with that, along that line, vibes over vibes over relationships, because you can have good experiences, you can have cool experiences, you can come into and out of experiences if it's about the vibe, as long as the vibe is cool. When you got bad, when something went down bad, likely with you and your friends of the same gender or the opposite gender or whatnot, when something had got to go bad, it's because the relationship, you were pressing, or you were feeling a way about the relationship and not the vibe, because the vibe had likely been whacked before the relationship got whacked. But you press on with the relationship, the history, the memory, what had been, what could be, what might be, what may be, instead of the actual vibe that you're feeling right now, baby. So if you had stuck to the vibe, a lot of that bullshit might not have happened. So I'm gonna say vibes over relationships. But damn, I lost some of that. But I did have some things I wanted to say tonight, and I wanted to say like so you like this life is kind of funny, right? Because like when you when you when you got something to say, right? When you got something cool to say, right? You know you feel a way. You got something to say. You feel something excited. How do you know you got something to say? You're excited. You're interested in it. You're passionate about it. But stuff get really thick when you got something to say. It get thick like that. It get difficult. The app won't work. The phone won't work. You could be doing that. You should be doing anything but that original thing that you have to do right now. You feel like you got something to do right now, right here, right now. No, we need to do anything but that. But then like say you did something like with music, right? You do music, right? I bet you, if you ever had a cool idea about music, you actually did something cool with music. The moment you did that cool thing with music, you were supposed to be somewhere else, right? You were practicing. You felt like giving it up. You felt like hanging it up. It would have been more convenient to hang it up, but you stuck it out. You actually had a cooler idea when you stuck it out than when you did the appropriate thing. The appropriate thing, the sensible thing, the reasonable thing, the timely thing, the godly thing is a waste. I said it right there. The timely, appropriate, efficient, prudent, all that above is what get this life, is what wastes this life. When you stick it out, damn it, nah, but I want to do it right here, right now. Nah, but I'm about to keep playing with that. That's when you get the real idea. Now people follow that idea you had when you had stuck your middle finger up to something better to do that. But uh, but so I had some ideas today, but like I'm like, damn it, I know as soon as I'm gonna try to want to talk, or when I'm gonna try to upload this, there's gonna have to be something to get in the way. So I want to say, like, if you actually did have somebody like that really has something cold to say, something deep to say to you, right, to you specifically, really deep, it'll be difficult. They'd be belabored. I don't know if anybody remember the show Malcolm in the Middle. Like a lot of stuff was like, it wasn't even that cool when I grew up, and it had already been like when I was already getting to be grown, it was out. But you say it now, and that sound like dinosaur history. It sounds like ancient dinosaur history. The older dinosaurs that had been older than the cool dinosaurs that already been extinct this many billions of years. Like sometimes you learn about the dinosaurs, it's like, damn, they were around for 400 million years. But also the ones that were around 200 million years ago, which is a long time from now, they had already been dinosaurs 200 million years before that. So it's like sometimes when I talk about regular stuff, it's like the older dinosaur stuff, not just dinosaur, but older dinosaur stuff, older iterations of pre-Paleolithic, anthropomorphic, Jurassic, Neoplatonian plantation, when the Earth was different and the seasons were different, and the trees were bigger and the rocks were bigger and the Earth was bigger and the sun was bigger type thing, that long ago. But there's a show called Malcolm in the Middle, and this my favorite character, one of my favorite character of all like classic media. He would talk kind of belabored like that, and he was the coolest one with the coolest things to say. He could diss you like that. He could clown you like that, like that. I just wanted to say that shit you did was bogus. Fuck you. It sounds cool how he said it like that. But sometimes Osho, the guy I listened to, right? He was saying that, so all of us, right? All of us in this life, you listening to this right now, you come from rock and roll. You come from rock and roll ain't really that, it's still cool, but it ain't that new. How do you know you came from rock and roll? Because our father is the greatest rock and roller that none of our ass had seen before. Have you actually seen our father before? Have you? Had he not been a Rolling Stone? We all come from a Rolling Stone. We all come from rock and roll. But if you actually did see your father, it might if you actually saw your greatest father, it might be difficult for him to talk to you because it'd be so much that he had to overcome just to get off the truth because you got so much BS in his life, right? So it'd be like this. I've wanted to say so much to you. Your mother is not who you think. The bitch is crazy. We were young in love. I still love her. The bitch had been crazy like that. Crazy. If I would have stuck around, it wouldn't work. I had to dip. But I did the best I could for you. I made an ecosystem. I made a lot of bogus people that you could overcome on because I knew you'd be as smart as me. It's still not that hard to get over on them. She had been crazy. That's how life be like that. But uh that's just to start this video. I actually had a lot I want to talk about today, and it kind of feel like that I wouldn't even know where to start. I had so much, but I want to say that like one of the things is that like making content is it's like a good habit because whatever you do, you get better at whatever you do, right? So if you a lot of people don't talk that much, but when they do talk, they don't say nice things about people. So normally whatever you say out your mouth, you have been thinking about it a lot first. So if you're in the habit of seldom talking, but when you do talk, you don't say a lot of great stuff, then you're gonna be ruminating on less than great stuff a lot. But if you don't talk a lot in your normal life, but when you do talk, it's affirmative, superlative, in the name and nature of life, to uplift people, to edify people, yourself for other people, but other people for yourself, which is also other people. Then you're gonna have like a lot of ideas occur all the time because you're just in the habit of ruminating on things that are if you get in the habit of thinking for maybe saying original thoughts, but you can't get it all the way to original thought without being impacted and influenced by other thoughts. There have been great thinkers come before you. You can't do too much of anything completely original. And even if you did, it wouldn't be as great because in it, yeah, man, that's your own thing, man. You're on some other shit, man. But this is our stuff here. This is great. This is great. I would say that I was having a thought today that life is the greatest story, right? You can like imagine like so you got like certain like animation houses, studios, right? They got all the best animation stuff. But them stories now, they ain't the same stories as like back in the day, like your Toy Story, Aladdin, Lion King, but especially like Toy Story. Toy Story is one of the first ones that did the great animation. The modern animation, yeah, the animation's better than it had been then. Some people might argue that because like the 90s was really brilliant. For its time, the animation might have been better for its time then. But if it ain't got a story, man, it's kind of whack, man. You can do anything, but if it ain't got, you can play the coolest music too. You can play some dope music. Yeah, it's that cool, but it's too cool. It's too agreeable. It's too convenient. It's too perfect. It ain't got no problem in it. Yeah, it's just pleasing. You're just kissing my ass with this music, man. Are you trying to kiss my ass? I walk in the guitar store, you're playing me all this pleasant stuff, all this cool stuff, this rock and roll stuff, but it ain't actually got no problem in there, man. You're just kissing people's ass with a guitar, man. That's only so it's bad enough to be you're a badass kissing people's ass as a badass. What's that? But it got to have a story to be great. But life actually does have a story because life is nothing but problems all the time. So life is the greatest story, and so we're living the greatest story. You know that's one thing. But I was I was let me see but I was thinking that that'll take your breath away. The heat just walked by, man. But I'm you're doing righteous stuff when the heat walked past you. And you ain't got nothing to say. So that's shout out. But it kind of give you walk back. It's funny too, right? So I was thinking that's part of one thing I want to talk about. Like, so you know, you got an officer, right? The officer, they're brandishing things because they got people's ass got to know what it comes to, right? But if you think about it in your life, right? How much bogus shit have you seen in your life that went under that went it didn't get it got right overlooked, right? You ain't even gotta go too far to see some bogus shit. Or the more bogus shit is more so insidious than it is in your face, right? Like what would be worse? Like somebody like go somebody's their ass is dead broke, right? They're broke, right? They're up. So most of the times, like when people play with firearms, like people are like, yeah, you like firearms, respect people. I believe in freedom, right? Freedom is actually even more fundamental than bearing or not bearing firearms, because you can't you can't really make your best decision about what your safety is important. Health and safety is important, and that's impacted by self-defense. Whether you choose to defend yourself or you choose peace, both of those can be costly and can cost you and people you love a lot. How you would go about that. So I can't talk about would go about stuff. But when people are getting off on stuff, like you got a fetish about weapons and shit, you're more so planning to do that. You're planning for somebody to fuck up and you get lucky somebody fucking up like that. Because real problems are more nuanced, they're more sophisticated, they're more subtle, they're more savvy, they're more social than just a damn firefight. Because it's not that simple. But if you actually did get over on a situation with a firearm, it's likely because somebody would have been desperate and they fucked up being desperate, and so you got their ass. But that's the same thing with, like, I think even like a lot of like law enforcement, because like I was on a train, right? So now you actually they're bringing like firearms inside of the trains, like where I'm at. Like I don't know if people are used to that in other cities, but they actually brandish firearms inside of confined spaces with men, women, and children, innocent bystanders, collateral. But it's actually not warfare and fighting unless there's collateral. So now you're technically having warfare if you're having to bring a weapon. But your ass got a weapon in broad daylight, broad spaces. So I just asked the lady, since you're whipping out and brandishing a weapon in our face, including the women and children, anytime you're a grown ass man, you're responsible for the women and children around you. That's my standpoint, because your ass is bogus if you're not stepping up for women and children. Because what are we doing here if we're not standing up for one another, but also for them? But I asked the woman, I was like, wait. So I just asked. The woman was like, she engaged me first because I had a guitar. So as long as you're engaging me, I'm gonna engage you. Hey, but have you actually used your firearm before? I asked her, but you got a firearm, but did you ever use your firearm in the line of duty? Because I couldn't imagine. I'm gonna be honest, like this particular person, I couldn't imagine her in like a firefight against like people that are comfortable with firefights and that ain't got nothing to lose. I couldn't really picture her using that weapon like that, like getting over on some shit, like holding the weapon sideways and shit, like popping that shit, like ain't even phased by the hot shit flying her way. Like, so you got people that look like badasses that might, you got people that look like cowboys that never been in a rodeo. It might be iffy walking around some shit, like the first time they seen some shit and had to sidestep some shit, but they also look like a cowboy. So I said, have you ever had to use that before? And she's like, oh yeah, only once. And then she was like, I had to put a deer out of its misery on the side of the road. That's kind of deep if you think about it, because that's exactly what these firearms are about, right? You're not having a firearm because you want a fair fight, or you want to be disadvantaged, or you want to be out of ammunition, or you want to be on the low ground. That's not why you're wanting it. You're wanting it for the high ground, to be the winner, to be the victory. So if you do get to use it, she actually got to use her shit. But how did she get to use it? She said that a deer had been struck on the side of the road, and then she got caught out, and she had nothing else to do but to put the deer out of its misery. Now, if you think about it, I have some of the utmost. A lot of people would say like in India, they have reverence for cows. That's really deep. Like cows. Sometimes I get to the outer of the city area, and you see some cows, and they have more of gravity, dignity, serenity, peace, bearing, magnanimity, being bigger than tit for tat, than animosity, than they're bigger than hate. They're bigger than our. I think not only are cows physically bigger than us, but they're bigger as people. A lot of cows are. And so in other places they would say like holy cow or sacred cow, but they actually really are that beautiful. My friend went to one of my coworkers visited India, and he said you could get strung up if you mess up around cows in India. That's how they feel about cows. But I didn't grow up around cows like people in India might have grown up around cows, but I grew up around deer, like where I'm at. And I never thought it was anything to do cool about hunting deer. Like I always been a steady shot. Like all my friends growing up, probably all my friends in life to this day, I would wager from a safe vantage point, if we're messing around with some guns, I might be a better shot just simply because I don't fuck with them, and you have better shot if you have better instincts if you don't actually use firearms. But I never thought there'd be much cool about deer. But deer are really kind of brilliant because they're so they're they're so whatever you've been through in life, right? You've been out of doors, no roof over your head, not sure where your next meal is coming from. You got lions, tigers, and bears after you, but also the lion, tigers, and bears. They have sophisticated sensory. They had the advantage. They have the initiative. They had the high ground. They had the ups on you. You got to deal with them. You got to deal with your ecosystem being encroached by human beings. You got to deal with traffic. You got to deal with so much as a deer. How much has by the time that deer got hit by a car, heaven forbid, may they rest in peace and in dignity. They have been through more than that and just for intensive purposes, tongue in cheek, that half-ass. Now a half-ass security is not necessarily not formidable because they probably have more training and they might take their shit serious. So you can't look past nobody in life. But you're like on a train brandishing firearms in front of like innocent people and kids and shit.